right? So the gala, like I said, we netted $169,000 from the gala, which is amazing, amazing event. Yes. Women of Excellence, we netted $2,000 in that event. The Food Festival, which is my favorite, I'm very excited that we're having it again next year, we netted $24,000. Purim Spiel. Come on, Sharon. Yeah. Purim Spiel, $213. Camp Jenny, which we just had, $2,000. Trivia Night, $4,000. The Passover Seder, $1,669. Now, Stephanie had mentioned the Burn the Mortgage campaign. So far, we have brought in $277,000, and the mortgage was $800,000. Because of the generous donations of people in this temple, we've actually brought it down to $500,000, which is amazing that we've done that. Thank you. And so here what we did is we just put everything together. So you have the income and the expense year over year compared to year over year, and then the budget. Like I said, we are balanced in the budget. The whole committee sat down and the whole board sat down for a few hours and got this knocked out. So we're going to end up with a little bit of a net income, if everything holds according to plan, of about $11,000. Yeah. What questions? I do not know. How many families?
I didn't hear the question.
How many families do we have now?
How many families? Do you know?
So what you're hearing, Andrea is explaining, we are still kind of figuring stuff out. So we know that we had, the last count I heard was 229 member family units. It could be a little more than that. It could be a little less than that. We've actually added 2 families coming in just this week. And so we're somewhere in that range, somewhere between 225 and 250. Is that a safe number, Barbara?
Yes, sir.
We can print up a copy, but the budget has to stay here. We can get you a written copy so you can read it here, but we request that it stay here. We don't like our budget to go out beyond these walls.
Pull closer to your mouth.
Sorry. Did you hear what I said? I said we can get you a copy that you can look at here. All right.
Yeah.
Any other questions? So we're going to take a vote on the budget. Okay, anybody second that? Well, I got a lot of seconds. Just pick anybody there. Ruth? All right. All in favor of passing the budget, say aye. Raise your hand. All against? All right, budget passes.
All right, there we go.
It was easy this year.
There we go.
So I guess I'm going to be, am I closing the annual meeting? I offer tonight two benedictions. I had a short report, so I get 2 benedictions. The first is one that I promised many weeks ago, shortly after the nets came down. For those of you who understand, you'll realize what I'm referring to. It might be an acrostic, y'all. Great, awesome, terrific is our world. May our blessings outweigh our challenges, and we be rewarded with sweetness in this season. Can the Gators say amen? Amen. Just figured I'd offer that. But Actually, seriously, I offer these words of Psalm 29. Adonai oz le'amo yitem. Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. We read together. Adonai, give us courage, patience, and strength to be partners with beings divine and human, so as individuals and partners, we can find and create a world of wholeness, harmony, and peace. Amen. And as it is now 7:05, as we close our annual meeting, we could go right into our Shabbat service. However, this is the Shabbat between Yom HaShoah, which was yesterday, and Yom HaAtzmaut, which is next week. And we have an absolutely amazing, incredible monument in our parking lot. And these 2 days of Holocaust Memorial Day and Israel Independence Day are so vital parts of this time of year as we go from Passover to Shavuot. So I have a huge favor to ask. On top of the fire extinguisher by the door is a basket that has tea lights, electric tea lights in it. And then there are also yellow pages of prayer. What I'm going to ask us all to do is we're going to walk out to the Holocaust monument. It'll work, Matt, I promise, it'll work. You'll also notice the sun's up right now. We are going to go out to the Holocaust monument. We're going to turn on the tea lights and you're going to put them on the monument. And then we're going to say a special Kaddish or Yom HaShoah out by the monument. And then we'll come back in for services. Then when we all depart, after services, once the sun will go down, we will see how that monument and how our campus is transformed by our light, even as we were here in services. And so we are going to do this quickly. And I'm going to make one other request, as it's Yom HaShoah. One of the powerful responses of Yom HaShoah is called a fast of silence. And part of it is to respond to the pain. Some of it is to consider how we move through this world in a way to respond to the destruction and the senseless hatred of the Holocaust. So what I would ask is that silently we move out and we'll reconvene around the Holocaust monument. Let's head out. Eli, Eli, shelo yigamer leolam. Hachol v'hayam, rishru shel hamayim, berak hashamayim, tfilat hadam. Hachol v'hayam, rishru shel hamayim, barak hashamayim, tfilat hadam. O God, my God, I pray that these things never end. The sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart, the sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart. As is common in Jewish life, we go back and forth from sad moments to joyous occasions. We started with that act of memory so we can realize all who are present here, past, present, and future, as we join in this Shabbat, a time of simcha, a time of joy. And so I look out to Andrea and to Linda, and I don't know where we lost Sandy to, but she's somewhere around, I am sure. And we join together as we welcome our Shabbat bride. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nikabla, lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat, nikabla. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, umevorach. This is not going to be our normal Shabbat, but we are going to light the Shabbat candles. Do I have someone that would volunteer to come and light the Shabbat candles? Come on up. And as Rhonda comes up, let us light.
We kindle these Shabbat lights to bring the best of ourselves into the world. With these lights, we remember that each of us is more than an individual. Each of us is part of a Jewish people. When we are individuals, our lives are brief and our efforts temporary. But when we are members of a living people, our lives stretch back into the past and reach forward into the future. As we dream of tomorrow, we do not forget our yesterdays. These candles embody the special spark that draws on the light and love of all the generations before and feeds the fires that warm, enlighten, and empower those who surround us on this Shabbat and beyond.
So we join together with these words of prayer. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu. And I invite you to join me with these words of sweetness. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzevanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maseh v'reishit ki hu yom tachila lamikraye kodesh zecher letzion Mitzrayim kivanu v'charta v'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu baruch atah Adonai mikadesh hashabbat. Amen. L'chaim. So typically, this is where we do our Shabbat hug. I'm going to make a huge request. We are going to do our Shabbat hug without moving. I know that's going to be a little struggle for us, but we can do this. So you're going to have a chance to hug and kiss your loved ones who are adjacent to you, but then you'll just have to wave, smile, and blow kisses, germ-safe kisses, across the sanctuary. Are you all ready? Take a moment to offer your Shabbat hug. As we greet each other, one last group we need to greet. If you would turn around and we wave to those folks who are with us on our stream. You are not with us here in the building, but you're with us in this time of Shabbat. It is wonderful that you are joining us for this Shabbat, and so we wish you a big Shabbat Shalom. And as we... Are you all ready? Or Zarua, Lat Sadiq, Ul Yisraelev Simcha. Or Zarua, Lat Sadiq, Ul Yisraelev Simcha. Or Zarua, Lat Sadiq, Ul Yisraelev Simcha. Ul Yisraelev Simcha. Or Zarua, Lat Sadiq, Ul Yisraelev Simcha. Yishre lev simcha. And on page 26, 144, we rise for the Reader's Kaddish as we enter our formal worship. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shomei rabbah, b'alma divrach rutev yom lech malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon, uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala, ba'agala, uvizman kariv, v'meru, Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach, le'olam u'olmei olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yipa'ar v'yiraman v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal, shmei dekudasha brichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran b'yalma, v'meru. Are we just singing it? To my prayer, can you? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Bar. Baruch Adonai Hanavorah, Le'olam va'ed, Le'olam va'ed. Yadadadadai, 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 yadadadadai. As you are seated, we might be pulling up Roll into Darkness. You've got this, Linda. Roll into dark. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Rayon Balala Golel Or Mipnei Choshech Golel Or Mipnei Choshech Vechoshech Mipnei Or. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. And from the bottom of 33, 151, wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, symbol and story, all these things tell of your Torah gives to us. The more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Vad. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvchol nafshecha uvechol me'odecha ve'hayu ha'devarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha vishinantam levanecha vidibartabam bashivtecha beveitecha uvlektecha vaderech ushochbecha uvkumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha vahayu letotafot beinenecha uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kadoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Together, loving life and its mysterious source, with all our heart, with all our spirit, all our senses and strength, we take upon ourselves and into ourselves these promises: to take care of, to pursue justice and peace, to love kindness and compassion. We will teach this to our children throughout the passage of the day, as we dwell in our homes, as we go on our journeys, from the time we rise until we fall asleep. May our actions be faithful to our words, that our children's children may live to know truth and kindness have embraced, peace and justice have kissed and are one. Adonai Elohechem Emet. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before we ever stood at Sinai's foot. That there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Yam bam bam bim bim, yada bye bye bim, ya bye bye bim bim bam, yada bye bye bim bam, ya bye bye bim bim bam, yada bye bye bim bam, ya da 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 da, yada bye bye bim bam, ya da 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 da, yada bye bye bim bam. Mi kamocha bailim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar bakodesh, norati lo o sefele, norati lo o sefele, malichutecha ra'uvanecha, bokei ayam lifnei Moshe Miriam, Zeli Zeli anu ve'amru, Adonai loch leolam va'ed. Bam, yam bam bam bim bim bam, yada bam bam bim bam, yad bam bam bim bim bam, yada bam bam bim bam, ya da 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 da, yada bam bam bim bam, ya da 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 da, yada bam bam bim bam. V'ne'emar ki fad Adonai Yaakov, ugelo miyad chazak mimenu, baruch ata Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. And this is from our projection. Imagine Israel, a land of milk and honey, a place where Christian, Jews, and Muslims live together in one little sliver of holy land in peace, where Jerusalem is a holy city for all faiths, where saplings are planted and ancient olive trees revered, where children of all religions and backgrounds believe they have a future together. Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and the fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Baruch atah Adonai, hapares sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, va'al Yerushalayim. And I invite you to please rise for the tefillah. Adonai tzifai tav tivtach, ufi yagid hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei HaKol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'imahot, Umevi Gula Livnei V'nehem, Leman Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Vezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol atah Rav Lahoshia. Morid Hatal, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye HaKol berachamim rabim, somech noflim v'rofeh cholim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato, lishenei afar, michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melach, melech memit, umechaye, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'ne'eman ata l'chachayot hakol. Chata Adonai, mechaye hakol. Ata kadosh shimcha kadosh, udkodshim b'chol yom yechalu chasela, baruch ata Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. From the projection, it is Shabbat, and we have to stop. We cannot rest and renew ourselves if we stay in the constant motion of 6 days of work. It is Shabbat, and we have to stop. When we stop, we can look around and see the beauty inside and out, appreciate the blessings of our lives, Feel the connection of our heart and soul, body and being that infuse us and empower us to be shalom, complete human beings. It is Shabbat, and we have to stop. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. The new month of ER begins on Sunday. May it come to us and all Israel for good together. Our God and God of our ancestors, may the new month bring us renewed good and blessing. May we have long life, peace, prosperity, and health, a life full of blessing, a life exalted by love of Torah and reverence for the divine, a life marked by uprightness and wisdom and knowledge, a life in which the yearnings of our hearts will be fulfilled for the good. Zochrenu Adonai Eloheinu bo l'tova, we say together, this day remember us for well-being. Ufagdenu vo livracha, this day bless us with your nearness. Vahoshiinu bo l'chaim, this day help us to a fuller life. Together, let our eyes behold your loving return to Zion. Blessed are you, Adonai, whose presence returns to Zion. Baruch atah Adonai, hamachazir shechinato l'Tzion. When we behold your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars that you set in place, what are we humans that you're mindful of us? We mortals that you take note of us. You have made us a little less than divine, adorned us with glory and majesty. You gave us dominion over your handiwork, laying the world at our feet. How majestic is your name throughout the earth. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulcha na'eh lehodot. Aya's dream for these days of celebration envisioned that the Torah will go out from Zion, Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, and the word of eternal from Jerusalem. And the Holy One of blessing will judge between many peoples and will settle disputes for strong nations far and wide. Together, they will beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation will not lift up its nation, nor will they not train for war anymore. Everyone will sit under their own vine and under their own fig tree, and no one will make them afraid. Baruch atah Adonai, hamvarech et amo Yisrael, ba'shalom. As I have these words as an extra prayer for the state of Israel in the midst of this week before Yom HaAtzmaut, I do invite you to be seated. I invite you to take a moment of silence. You can use these words that are projected for you or simply offer the words of your heart. Say shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Yaseh shalom shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. So tonight, instead of, I had a plan. Do you know what happens with plans? Man tracht und Gott lacht. Humans plan and God laughs. Or it could have been just a lot of cooks in the kitchen that led us to this moment. I don't know. So rather than what we had planned, And I know that our singers practiced and practiced and practiced. We will do that song, I promise. I heard Sandy practicing it. I have a request. You're about to get a short series of requests. We have the song, the words of Pavel Friedman called The Last Butterfly. We were going to sing it tonight. We're going to not do that. But we are going to send out a link with YouTube videos of two things. One is a children's choir singing the song. It is truly, truly amazing. It's absolutely beautiful. And so let me explain. How many of you are familiar with the book I Never Saw Another Butterfly? So that came out of the Theresian or Theresienstadt ghetto, and it was a book of art and poetry by the kids of Theresienstadt. One of the poems, the one that was named after, is called The Last Butterfly. Here are the words. It has been turned into a beautiful song. It's something I sang growing up as a teenager. I'm actually going to include an essay that I was preparing to send out to the congregation with the link to this choir singing it. It is a powerful part of acknowledging Yom HaShoah because we are here. This is a young man who died in his 20s. He was taken to Auschwitz. He was murdered at Auschwitz. All we have left are his words, and yet here you will have an opportunity, if you listen to that recording, to hear kids bring his words to life in just a powerful and amazing way. The other link I'm going to send you is something called the Bergen-Belsen Hatikva. It is a recording. I stumbled upon it. It's on YouTube, but we'll send the link. It is the first Shabbat after the liberation of Bergen-Belsen, and the chaplains from the British Army got the survivors together to observe Shabbat, and they sang Hatikva. It is truly, truly remarkable, especially when you realize it was still 3 years before the state of Israel was founded. And these are people that had been destroyed and seen everything around them destroyed. And what does Hatikva mean? Hope. So I'm going to send those. I want to also add that as we talk about Holocaust, and as we talk about Israel, when I was growing up, those were the two pillars of all Jewish education. I call it, how many of you have done driver's ed? Do you remember the old videos that they would show you? I call it blood on the highway Jewish education, because a lot of us grew up being told that if we don't stay Jewish, then there's going to be another Holocaust and they will kill us all. Or if we don't take care of Israel, and Israel isn't the center, then there will be another Holocaust and they will kill us all. And that was all of our Jewish education. And that's a challenge, and it's a huge challenge in our world because it hid a lot of the other incredible parts of Judaism. And that's why on lots of nights you don't hear me mention Israel or Holocaust or other kinds of things, talking about other parts of Jewish spirituality. But tonight, as we are in this Shabbat, between Yom HaShoah and Yom HaAtzmaut, I wanted to make sure that we talked about the Shoah. Not just talked about, not just remembered, but did acts of bringing light, quite literally, into the world. And I also did want to make sure that we did experience those words of Hatikva, which are so vital and such a vital part of Judaism in our day and age, to think about what is our relationship with the state of Israel. How do we feed the state of Israel? How does the state of Israel and the people of Israel and the culture of Israel feed us? And how do we here in Clearwater, Florida, in Pinellas County, maintain our, not just with the land, but also the people of Israel? So I do invite you to stand. And to join with me. So one request is when I send out that link, if you would please watch those two videos, The Butterfly and Bergen-Belsen Hatikva. They are truly, truly remarkable. And so we stand here in this place on this Shabbat before Yom HaAtzmaut, and we sing together Hatikva. Kol od baleva panima nefesh Yehudi homia ufate mizrach kadima ayin litzion Sophia. O lo avda tikvatenu, ha-tikva bachnot alpayim, liotam chovshi be'atzenu, eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim. Liotam chovshi be'atzenu, eretz Zion Yerushalayim. And as we are seated, one of the things as we were practicing for our service yesterday, I pointed out, Hatikva is a challenging anthem. It's written in Hebrew. There are a lot, and it is a prayer, it is words that's all about the Jewish heart turning towards the state of Israel and making a place for our people in that land. But we also know that Jews are not the only people in that land. There are Arab citizens of Israel and Druze and Christian and lots of other cultural groups and religious groups and faith groups. And that's one of the pieces as we sing Hatikva, can we make sure that we broaden our heart to that Israel, and I've said it before, that it's Bonei Yerushalayim, Bonei Barachamav, that Jerusalem is built not just as the place that's the heart of Israel and the heart of Jewish life, but a place that is built barachamim with lots of kindness and graciousness and compassion, that it's a place of love and inclusion, that there are lots of people that get to have that place as a holy city. And so as I say that, one of the things, if you were here last week, you heard about the WZC elections, the World Zionist Congress elections. It's an opportunity for American Jews to participate in Israel. The World Zionist Congress meets every 5 years, and depending on how the election goes, it decides the amount of representation different groups get in the World Zionist Congress. If you know anything about Zionism, Theodor Herzl, World Zionist Congress, that's where he got his start. There is an opportunity, there is information in the lobby to vote in the World Zionist Congress elections. We are asking that you vote for slate 3. You can vote for any slate you want. Our congregation is asking for people to vote for slate 3, which is the Reformed Jewish slate. Reformed Jewish community in Israel through the WZC elections is seeking pluralism in Israel and democracy in Israel and an opportunity for all of the different kinds of minorities, including Reformed Jews, to make sure that they have the opportunity to live a full and meaningful experience in the land of Israel. So I ask you, if you have not already voted, there is a $5 cost, and the information again is in the lobby. And so WCC elections, to watch those videos when we send them out. And one last piece. We are in the midst of the counting of the Omer. I invite you to join with me. I'm now prepared to fulfill the positive mitzvah of the counting of the Omer, as is written in the Torah, and from the day on which you bring the sheaf of the wave offering, the day after the day of rest, you shall count off 7 weeks. They must be complete. Until the day after the 7th week, you should count 50 days. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al svirat ha'omer. Praised are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who sanctifies us through mitzvot and commands us to count the Omer. Tonight is the 13th night of the Omer. That's 1 week and 6 days into the Omer. This is the week. It is a show of great kindness as well as patience to slow down for someone who's having a hard time keeping up and to go at their pace for a while. So you have just counted the Omer. We are counting the Omer as a congregation. Some of you have stopped and counted out in our lobby. There are 12 counters in the primary count. We need to add one for tonight. We've now counted for the 13th day. I invite all of you at some point over these 50 days to stop and come and be part of this communal count. If you're the first one for the day, sign that block on the calendar that's out there. It looks like this, which I know all of you can see in great detail from out there. If you would just sign your name in that box, so that tells somebody that somebody is there for that primary one. If you come after, you can still count. Just take from the big bowl and put it in the medium-sized bowl. That will tell us how many people have counted through these 50 days. That'll end with Shavuot on June 1st when Sisterhood is doing a breakfast for dinner program. Plug for Sisterhood doing a breakfast for dinner program. There are more of these calendars that are out there. If you would like to count the Omer to acknowledge these 50 days that are given towards reflection and change, I invite you to do that. So those are my 3 requests. One is when you see that the link that will have the essay about the butterfly, to watch those, take the time to watch those 2 videos, to vote in the WZC elections, and finally to join us in the count for the Omer. And so I do ask you now, as we are together on this Shabbat, to join with me as we offer these words of healing. Mi sheberach avotenu mekor habracha limotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. On this Shabbat, I acknowledge Susie Armstrong, Connor Adler, Theda Bosio, Barbara Breslow, Lillian Cutler, Mark Edelstein, Benjamin Edelstein, Brian Edelstein, Eric Fisk, Gideon Jacob Fisher, Thomas Fuchs, Jan Hirschfeld, Wendy Sugarman Krosnoff, Elena LaCompote, Stuart Solomon, Cindy Steinman, Lee Siegel, Stacy Siegel, Pete Tanner, Fred Truax, Herb Weinberg, Hillary Weinberg, Marcia Weinberg, and Fran Wiggins. Are there others you would acknowledge for a blessing for healing and comfort? We think of them and all of those who are in places of war, places of danger, who are in need of healing and comfort as we join together with these words. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, as I called Delilah and Lorelei forward to open our ark, As we come to the conclusion of our service, it's on 282 or 586. As I ask the congregation to please rise, I will also mention, as you see our scrolls, if you would like to be part of the Torah Renewal Project, please just talk to me at the ONEG or give me a call. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, latet gdula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kagoye haratzo, velo samanu kamishpechot adama, shelo sam chalkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol amonam, vanachnu korim, umishachadinu modim, lifnei melech, malchei hamachim, hakadosh baruch hu. We read together, may we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Love, each of us, for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech. May we never lift up our hand, but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom and peace. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai v'melech al kol haaretz v'yom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo We pause to honor and remember. From wildfires to floods, wars to pandemics, there have been many who have died, leaving families and communities broken. We pause to offer silence as an act of presence in the face of these unexpected traumas in our lives. And in addition, on this Shabbat, we add to that silence those victims of the Shoah, both those that died during the Shoah, those whose bodies were so impacted that they died from that experience. And we also, and this is the practice that you see in Israel, there are sirens that silence everybody. Traffic stops where it is. People get out of their cars, come out of buildings, and there are moments of silence for Yom HaShoah and for Yom HaZikaron, which will be on Wednesday night. And there's going to be a community-wide service for that on Zoom this coming week. Silence for all of those who gave their lives defending the state of Israel. From even before it was a state, those who were there to build up the land and those who gave their lives defending the people that were there. And so we take a moment for silence on this Shabbat, both as we think about Yom HaZikaron, as we think about Yom HaShoah, but also for all of those in our world who have lost loved ones in these moments of pain. On this Shabbat, we also remember members of our congregation and community who have died in this season and years past. Celia Applebaum, Max Aronovitz, Ben Barron, Sheila Toby Bernstein Basil, William Bass, Louis Bernstein, Tobias Bromberg, Nettie Edgar, Paul Falk, Betty H. Fine, Flora Finkelstone, Michael Foreman, Beatrice Garfus, Riva Gelb, Ida E. Gordon, Sidney Daniel Gorman, Miriam Graber, Nathaniel H. Harris, Ida Heim, Marjorie Peskin Hirsch, David Hirschhorn, Marjorie Last Johns, Faye Joseph, Louis Joseph, Gerald Cantor, Mark Kantrowitz, Arnice Casper, Howard S. Lawrence, Lucille Lecter, Leichter, Daniel Morris, Erwin Jack Nathanson, Adele Rocker, Ida Rautenberg, Harold Rubin, Alfred Schick, Ruth Shapiro Steinman, Jeanette Spagram, Etta Stein, Boris Tenboim, Alfred M. Ullman, Jerome A. Waterman, and Solomon Newman. Are there any other yard sites to be observed on this Shabbat? We also acknowledge those who have died in this past year: Mark Graber, Jeffrey Petracco, Barbara Enfinger, Robert Gold, Jerry Minko, Karen Treiser, Karen Roth, Fran Kantrowitz, Michael Moses, Buddy Cohen, Fran Kipling, Leah Conway, Marcia Lesser, Geraldine Mockenstrom, Larry Kessler, Marvin Hollander, Hank Steinman, David Rautenberg, Robert Shapak, Mickey Edelstein, Sally Siegel, Marilyn Learbaum, and Mira Sand. They are with us as we offer these words of Kaddish on page 294. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, b'alma divrach yiruteh v'yamlech malchuteh, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayedechol beit Yisrael, ba'gala uv'zman kariv v'yimru, Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olmei olmaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudesha brechu le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran b'alma v'yimru Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Hu say shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are saying goodbye to someone they love, as together we say, amen. As we are seated, and as we talk about Yom HaShoah, as we talk about Yom HaAtzmaut, whether it is our past or whether it is our present, clearly our world is in need of a lot of shalom. Od yavo shalom aleinu, Od yavo shalom aleinu, Od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Od yavo shalom aleinu, Od yavo shalom aleinu, Od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Salam aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Od yavo shalom aleinu, Od yavo shalom aleinu, Od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam. Stephanie, did you want to share some announcements with us? Quick. Did the Omer class get on there?
Shabbat Shalom. Nice to see everybody here. Thank you for coming to the meeting earlier. Just a couple quick announcements because we got an action-packed weekend. One thing down and two to go, at least. So Saturday, April 26th, 6 p.m., Rabbi Daniel Treiser Memorial Poker Tournament. Join us. It's not just Texas Hold'em. It's also Mahjong and other cards. And the announcement, you can see how much it costs. Just let us know if you're planning on coming and you haven't let anybody know. On Sunday, April 27th, is the Sheila Weinstock Mitzvah Day of Service. Please go to the website. If you haven't signed up, there may still be time. I know that my family is joining Jill. She doesn't know that yet. We're going to be cleaning up the causeway, but there's all sorts of things to do. I heard we're crocheting. Yep. So lots of things to do. Of course, we have our 7 weeks of Omer, Federation Women of Distinction. Congratulations to Melissa, and so on and so forth. I know a couple people had asked about the budget, so Barbara and I have a printed copy, so for eyes as old as mine or older that couldn't see the board, we have a printed copy and we'll have it in the ONEG. Again, thank you, everybody, and let's burn the mortgage.